The problem is that there is no consistent offense coming from this team. You see, if our offense was in top the tip top shape form, although the defense was still being questioned, you could kind of make up for that with your offense, right? The problem is that their defense sucks, and it sucked all year, and then your offense sucks. So you really can't find no path of consistency to try to build on, to try to get your team to win and do something. And that's the issue, right? That's where we that's where we struggle the most. So in a sense, there's no path to be like, all right, we're struggling here, but let's stick to this, because if we can stick to this and get this going over here in this path defensively, we got to fix that as we build confidence from our offense. That's the problem. They don't have any of that. They don't have not one source of offense right now to capitalize on. They have no sense of urgency right now. They don't have any consistency from any single one of these players. Right? You talk about Mikal Bridges, for example. Let's talk about Mikal Bridges, right? Mikal Bridges had 7 points. He was 3 of 10 from the field. He was 1 of 4 from 3. Then 3 rebounds, 3 assists. He was a negative 21 in point differential. He had the highest negative point differential on the team. All the starters went negative tonight. Like that to me, that pisses me off. That really, really does piss me off. Because we traded, and I hate bringing this up, but we traded 5 first-round picks for this dude. 5. For a guy who's supposed to be a difference maker on both ends of the court. And he's not. He's just not. And it's time to come into the realization that, dude, like, we need something. We need some more from you. OG Anunoby at times does give us some momentum, and sometimes he doesn't. But it can't just be OG. Again, in that game against the Phoenix Suns, OG was trying. His box score didn't look pretty. That's 100% fact. His box score did not look pretty. But at the same time, he seemed to be the only one that was literally giving us any momentum at all. So, when you look at Mikal Bridges and you're like, dude, when are we gonna get this consistency from you? We can't be waiting forever. We can't. The one thing that I wish Mike Brown would do with Mikal Bridges is play him point forward. Play him at point forward. Have Jalen Brunson play off ball and let Brunson stand behind the wing, or let him stand behind the corner and let the ball come to him. Let Mikal Bridges dictate the offense. Let him get involved in that way. Let him get involved in that way where he's bringing up the ball, he's facilitating, and not only facilitating, but at times Mikal Bridges could break a defender down and get to his mid range. We've seen it before. We've seen it a lot last year when Jalen Brunson was out. We saw it in the first 2 games, and I said this on Eddie's live when we did the post game for the Suns. We've seen it in the first 2 games of the season against the Cleveland Cavaliers and against the Boston Celtics. So why not kind of go back to that in a way? We got to change something. We can't be going out the same way we've been going out, because it's naturally disgusting. It really is. It really is. And at some point, like I said, at what point does Mike Brown start making those adjustments? At what point does Mike Brown say, hey, maybe I should put Deuce in the starting lineup and put Josh Hart back on the bench? When do we get to that?